Welcome back to Don't Blame Mondays, a Better Me podcast where we focus on self-care, self-awareness, and my personal favorite, self-improvement. I am Lisa McClendon, international recording artist. I have to say that because sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for the things that we have done in life. So I am grateful and I'm honored and I'm proud to say that I'm an international recording artist. I've had the honor of traveling the world and I love having conversations about self-improvement because I know what it has done for me personally. So I'm glad you're here. Well, as always, before we get this episode going, episode 6, let's start with the story. So I came across a direct message that came to me through one of my social media pages and apparently had been sitting there for about a month because I don't check DM often. And there was this young lady who had apparently followed my music for some time and she had just released a new single. And she was asking me to, please check out her new single and how she had been following my music and how it was her birthday and it would just be a great birthday gift for her if I would take the time to listen. And I did. I took the time. I hit the link and checked her out. And the song was amazing. Like, y'all, oh my God. It was just... Man, it was like a Sunday morning warm hug. Her voice was incredible. The lyrics were amazing. And as she was singing, I could see the scene of what she was singing about. It was just awesome. And I took the time to respond back to her and just shared with her how the song was awesome, how I love the song, how it is now on repeat. Hello. And just encouraged her to just continue to keep singing and, just gave her what sometimes we low-key just really need for ourselves. So it was just awesome to get that message and to embrace that young woman. And y'all know I have been literally rocking her song ever since that day. We're going to talk about doing it alone. And I'm smiling so big and with tears in my eyes because even as I'm recording this particular podcast, episode 8, message came through to me from my big sister, and it was just confirmation because I had recently had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was sharing how there have been many people who had unofficially signed up to help me with my relaunch of my music. And for different reasons, most everyone were no longer able, even though most wanted to, they were no longer able to follow through, be it for personal reasons, business reasons, health reasons, whatever. And I found myself feeling like I was all alone, like feeling like I only had me to count on. And what's so remarkable about being in this place, my sister texted me and she said, "You're going to have to do this alone. What you want now in this season of your life, you're going to have to do this alone." And she had no clue of what I was currently experiencing with being shorthanded, if you will. But then it came to me, which is what I want to really get you to get, is that sometimes God won't allow people to help you so that no one gets the right to get credit. I'm going to say it again. God sometimes has no one to help you so that no one can try to come back in and cash in for credit. And don't get me wrong, help is wonderful. And there is a season for help. But there's also the cave season. There was a story of a man in the Bible where there was a time where he was in the cave. He was alone. There was no one to help him, no one to feed him, no one to be around, no one to motivate him, no one to support him, no one to cheer for him, no one to give to him. He had that cave experience alone. And his story ended with him being on top. He was finally able to reach his destination. But no one was able to come and get credit for his success. Listen to me. You may feel lonely. You may feel by yourself. You may feel like everyone else has help but you. But if you don't give up and you continue the work, you're going to find yourself on the end of this story. On the other end of this story. Having made it, having been at the top, celebrating, embracing the win. But no one is standing in line with their hand out, waiting for you to validate what they did to get you there. And it can be tough, it can be hard, it can be lonely, it can be frustrating, feeling like I'm doing all of this work and it seems like nothing is happening. But I remember when my daughter was a toddler and I was homeschooling her and we were learning about the oak tree. And forgive me, scholars or educators if I get this wrong, but I want you to study this for yourself and so you'll get what I'm saying. So the oak tree is one of the strongest trees that we have, if not the most, besides I think when I say the bamboo. But the unique thing about the oak tree is that when you plant the seed of the oak tree, there is no progress in sight for at least 7 years. Because the oak tree grows down first. It grows down so that the roots can secure itself. So that way when winds come in and storms come in, the oak tree is so rooted in the ground that it may sway, it may bend. But for the most part, it ain't moving unless you're going to take the entire tree up. And if you take the entire tree up with the root, can it not be relocated? Can it not be replanted? There's no way you're just going to take an oak tree down without a real fight. But the beginning of the oak tree is a silent process. It's a secluded process. It's very much hidden. It's the cave experience. No one around to help. No one around to motivate. No one around to cheer. No one around to see. It just quietly becomes. You are becoming. Quietly. You are being created. Quietly. You are being birthed and set up quietly. We're so used to noise. We're so used to the hustle and bustle and the rumble of the world, of social media, of work, of school, of family, of friends. But there is a blessing in the silence. There is a reward. There is a success. There is greatness in the silence, in the quiet, in the calm. Your process is calm. Your process is quiet. And when the time comes, all that you've done, the seed that you planted, the tears that you've cried, the doubt that you fought against, the fear that you've overcome, all of that is going to break through the ground. And the world is going to see the greatness that you've always been. Did you hear what I said? The greatness you've always been. Because the oak tree was always, except in the form of a seed. But all that it is and all that it is ever going to be is inside of that seed. It's just that it needed to mature. So embrace this quiet, calm season as you are developing and you are maturing alone. Alone. Something that sometimes we're so scared to have. Sometimes we're so scared to be alone. But alone is where we can hear, or we can get the instructions, we can get the direction, we can get the plan, we can get the blueprint. Alone. Don't be afraid of being alone. Embrace the alone. And the more you embrace the alone, the easier it will become over time. Over time, it will become much easier. But you can do this, and you got this. And I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. Hey guys, listen, we are almost there. We are almost to the final episode for this season, or season 1 for Don't Blame Mondays. I'm so glad that you come by every week and hang out with me, and you made it to the end of this podcast. And if you know anyone who may be an entrepreneur, an inspiring entrepreneur, and they are feeling down, they need to be motivated or inspired, please share this podcast with them. Share this episode with them, guys. You can do this. You will do this. You were created to do this, even if you have to do it alone. This is Don't Blame Mondays, a Better Me podcast. I am Lisa McClendon. I will see you next time. And as always, you're welcome.